Can you believe that?
Spoilers?
Do you want to start, or should I start, or?
Shut up, Chris. We're talking about the Batman.
The Batman, the cartoon show from 2002.
I thought it was 2004.
Maybe 2004, you're right.
Yeah, yep, we're talking about that. Definitely that.
His friend's the detective and becomes Clayface.
Yeah.
And the Joker doesn't wear shoes for
Actually, you know
some
what? Fuck
reason.
that. We're going to talk about The Batman, the movie serial from the 40s. Batman's fighting Japanese spies, which is played by a white guy. Ugh.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, and there's narration talking about how good it was the government put all the Japanese people in internment camps.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Nope. Fuck that. Let's talk about the Batman from this year.
Right. Batman 2022, starring Robert Pattinson and other people that I'm like, I think I know their names, but I'm not going to try to say their names because I have a bad track record of that. So anyway.
Zoe Kravitz, Paul Dano, Colin Farrell, Andy Serkis. I forget the name of the guy that plays Falcone.
All right. I'm Chris. That's Bill. So, Bill, what did you think of The Batman?
I'm honestly still processing it, but holy shit, it was really good.
It was good. It was a long movie.
It didn't feel long, which I think is always a good thing.
I think it didn't feel long either. However, I feel like there was like, towards the end of the movie, I was kind of like thinking to myself, okay, is this really how this movie's going to end? And then I was like, oh no, it keeps going. And I'm like, oh, now this is how it's going to end. Oh wait, nope, it's a little bit more. Okay.
It's very different from any of the Batman movies we've gotten previously because this one, it's actually a noir detective story. This felt like Long Halloween, like Dark Victory, like Year One. It felt like all those comics. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was the first Batman movie that is all Batman.
It really almost always is.
You hardly see him as Bruce Wayne. He is Batman.
And even when you see him as Bruce Wayne, is he really Bruce Wayne in those moments?
That's true. Also, first Batman movie, we don't see the Waynes get murdered, I think.
I mean, no. Not at all.
Really? Well,
Batman Returns, Batman and Robin.
You're right.
The Dark Knight, The Dark Knight Rises.
I guess first
Batman 66, that racist Batman movie serial, the non-racist Batman movie serial.
Okay. What I mean is, like, this is an introduction to a new Batman, and we know his parents were killed, but we didn't see it happen.
There you go.
Yeah.
Because we saw Michael Keaton walk down that alley. We saw Val Kilmer's parents walk down that alley. I guess you could kind of say that George Clooney was the same Batman-ish, sort of.
Yeah.
Christian Bale's parents. We saw freaking Batfleck's parents in slow motion.
Yeah.
First episode of Gotham, boom, parents dead. Hell, they even threw it in the Joker movie.
Yeah.
We've seen those parents get shot a lot.
Yep. But it's very different, but I would say the most Batman-y movie I've seen in a long time.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it, the last 10 years, we've had a few movies with Batman in them, but none of them were Batman movies.
Yeah. I mean, animated movies aside, live action, first Batman movie in a while.
Almost a decade.
Yeah. And I would say probably first time in a while we've seen Batman done like extremely well in live action, at least like more faithful to, you know, what a lot of people think Batman is, and closer to at least how I always viewed him in the comics and stuff, to opposed to like the Ben Affleck Murder Man.
This might be the first Batman in a while. He doesn't kill anybody.
He doesn't kill
They did
anybody.
it!
Yeah.
That kill count is 0.
Yeah. Where do you want to start talking about this?
Oh man, that's a good question. Oh, I started it. Okay, so obviously, main villain is the Riddler.
Yes.
And he is right from the jump targeting the higher levels of Gotham's city, the DA, the mayor, the police, was it like the police chief or commissioner or whatever?
Yeah, he killed the mayor in the opening scene of the movie.
That scene was kind of creepy, where he's just like in the shadows, looking like the freaking Zodiac killer.
Yeah, he's like breathing heavy and all this stuff, and you're just like, okay, like what is going on? Yeah, Riddler is scary, and maybe it's just because he is kind of more of I want to say like semi-realistic type of like madman.
Because he's just a guy in a raincoat murdering people, and we've dealt with that in real life.
And murdering people like brutally, but
Yes.
not in like a cartoonishly like gory way. It's like just like he like smacks the mayor in the head with like a carpet scraper, and you're just
Spoilers.
uh-oh.
unless you go in knowing what that tool is.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's some sort of scraper.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was like an ice scraper or something.
Yeah. Yeah, he just smacks him in the head, and it's just like, okay, like we don't need to see like the blood, but yeah, that guy's dead.
Oh yeah.
You get hit in the head that many times with something like that, you're done.
He fucking cuts his thumb off.
Yeah.
That was gruesome. Like, you don't see it, but Batman holds up a jump drive with a thumb dangling from it. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Also, someone said fuck.
Yeah, it was the commissioner at the
Yep.
beginning of the movie.
I was like, oh, they got their one in right away.
Yeah, it's weird. Those rules with PG-13 movies, it's like you get one. Sometimes you get two.
Not really. It's usually just the one.
I mean, The Martian, you got 3.
That was PG-13?
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know
Yeah.
how they got away with it.
I'm pretty sure he got 3, but it's hard for me to remember because I think one of the NASA guys says it, and then, like, there's that one scene where he's just like, fuck Mars. And then I think there's one other scene where he says it too.
Well, usually you can only really get away with one.
Yeah. But, yeah, so I guess we don't need to outline the whole entire plot.
No,
Because...
but all you really need to know is that throughout the movie, you see it in the trailers, the Riddler's killing people and he's leaving messages directed to Batman.
Yeah.
With ciphers that need to be decoded. If you've read Batman The Long Halloween, it's a very similar vibe. It's a different type of killing, but it's clearly inspired by that story. It even starts on Halloween, which is a nice little homage.
I think one thing that I find really interesting about this movie too is after we see the Riddler, kill the mayor and everything, the movie just like starts off like straight up with like narration from Batman about like, being like in the shadows, how like he can't be everywhere at once in this big city, but people are afraid of him and like you don't know if like he's in those shadows. And stuff like that. I thought that was pretty cool.
And we get our introduction to Batman where he fucks up those dudes in the face paint. It's kind of retroactively funny because the one that's, I guess, getting gang initiated, like the kind of more scared one who's got more of just like a half face. That's Tim Drake from Titans season 3.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. I'm just like, what are you doing, Robin? Damn it.
Oh, man, Robin.
He fell in with a bad crowd.
Yeah.
The Titans.
Seriously. Yeah, this movie has a lot of cool moments. It's got like an interesting color palette. It's like very like red at times.
Definitely.
I think also I don't really have much of an eye for like camera work, but I did notice they were really doing a lot of like different type of things I haven't seen in a movie like this. Like there's a lot of like first person perspectives. There's a whole car chase where like the camera is like really low to the ground. In some ways I was kind of like, this is like weird how low to the ground it is. Like you don't really see the whole car chase. You're seeing it more or less through the person driving in the side and then also seeing it in the mirrors, which I thought was pretty interesting. Also, a very dirty, rainy Gotham City always.
That's how Gotham should be, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And speaking of that car chase, I love the introduction of the Batmobile, where it's just this engine roar and you just like see this car.
Yeah.
And I remember reading an interview with Matt Reeves and how he was being inspired by the movie Christine when it comes to shooting the Batmobile. And in that moment, I fucking saw it. Well, I was like, yep, that's Christine right there, where you made a freaking like hot rod scary for a minute there. It's like, holy shit.
Yeah, I think like Batman in this movie, like his whole aesthetic and everything too is like, I feel like everything about this Batman is supposed to like scare criminals.
Yes.
Like he just seems so like intimidating, and also I don't know how tall Robert Pattinson is, but like they definitely make him like look like he's huge in the movie.
Very much
Like
so.
he just like towers over everybody when he like walks into a room and everything like that.
Could be a combination of him actually being really tall, which I have no idea what his height is, and also, yeah, just make him look taller. Just make him seem like he's huge.
Yeah.
It's fine. I'm cool with that. Michael Keaton was short.
Yeah.
They made him seem imposing.
Yeah, definitely. I want to say too, like it's just interesting. Like this Batman, he's like so stoic. I don't know. He's like very like what you want Batman to be. He's like super mysterious, but at the same time, like so intimidating, and he's kind of like, he reminds me more of like the urban legend, like the way people would like talk about Batman, the way you view Batman in this movie.
Definitely. He's very much just Batman. Like there's no public Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
At this point, he hasn't decided to try to do that. So his Bruce Wayne's just sort of like, people know him and he's a known figure, but he's like a recluse almost. So when he actually appears places, people are like, holy shit, it's Bruce Wayne. Oh my God.
Yeah.
But they even kind of say it, he's Batman. That's him. Like, he doesn't have this other side to himself at this point in his life. He hasn't figured that part out, I guess, maybe.
Yeah. It's very interesting because this is like one of the few movies where it's just like, we don't really know that much about Batman or Bruce Wayne in this movie. Even though we see a lot of Batman, we don't really get too much backstory. It's kind of just like, Batman is this guy trying to solve this case. He works with Commissioner Gordon. We don't even like see a scene with them like meeting for the first time or anything. It's just like they already have this relationship together. The bat signal is already there.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, you know what, you've seen enough Batman movies, you kind of know the basics.
Yeah,
let's just get into this.
The movie assumes you get the gist of it. You get Batman, Gordon, rooftop bat signal. You know that.
Yeah.
They made an entire movie about it in 2005. Something like that happened.
Yeah.
More grounded, though, and gritty and dirty.
Yeah. Gordon is pretty much the same Gordon we know in a lot of his other incarnations.
Yeah, there's nothing there's nothing egregiously wrong with the portrayal. It's not like, wow, they made Gordon an asshole in this. Or like an afterthought, like the Gordon in the old movies in the 90s.
Yeah, Gordon is...
He's Gordon. He's the one good cop in town, practically.
One good cop in town, mustache, glasses.
Trench coat sometimes.
Yeah, trench coat sometimes.
Yeah, I mean...
He's also a lieutenant in this movie. He's not Commissioner Gordon yet.
That makes sense. It's only year 2.
Yeah.
So, much like Gary Oldman, he's got to earn that promotion.
Yeah. So...
Though he's ahead of the curve. Gary Oldman took till the end of Batman Begins to get to lieutenant.
Right. That's true.
So...
I think he was commissioner by The Dark Knight.
Middle of The Dark Knight, so.
Yeah.
There's the bar, Jeffrey Wright.
Interesting. One thing, too, just from certain things I've seen of Batman, you know, the commissioner that gets killed in this movie is, oddly enough, not Commissioner Loeb.
Yeah, I don't know if this commissioner is from any of the comics. Usually it's just Loeb in the... So I'm surprised they didn't just go with that, but whatever.
Yeah.
Same kind of commissioner.
Commissioner Savage.
Commissioner sort of shady.
Yeah.
More shady than the live action Loeb we got in the Dark Knight trilogy, who wasn't shady. Like he was just kind of, I'm the commissioner, grr, grumble, grumble,
Yeah.
this stupid vigilante. Whereas Loeb in the comics was super corrupt.
Yeah, it's very interesting because Gordon in this like is working with Batman. It's kind of like the police are kind of tolerating this, but a lot of the police are like, why are they letting him let Batman here?
Am I the only one seeing the guy in the bat suit?
Yeah.
We letting the guy in the bat suit onto the crime scene.
Yeah, like there's just like a couple cops that are just like, hey, whoa, what are you doing here when Batman shows up?
There's a guy that's dressed like a bat.
Yeah.
And like you kind of understand where they're coming from.
I mean, like Batman looks so ridiculous when he's with the cops. And it's kind of and their reaction to him is so believable.
Oh,
It's just
definitely.
like, you got to be kidding me with this guy. Like, what is he doing? I do love that Batman is not like, you know, completely like, you know, clueless when it comes to certain things. Like maybe he's portrayed in like Batman Earth 1 where Commissioner Gordon's just like, what are you doing? You're touching the crime scene and everything. It's more like he kind of sort of has an idea of how he should behave. I mean, some of the cops are just like, hey, you can't touch that. And Gordon's just like, he's wearing gloves, okay? Like, it's fine.
Yeah. Well, this Batman's a bit more experienced than the Earth 1 Batman one, because that one was like just starting out. This Batman's got some time under the utility belt.
Yeah.
I did like that one moment when like it was clear that getting out of the police station was going to be very difficult for Batman. So Gordon's just like, I'll talk to him. And he's just like, we got to get you the fuck out of here, dude. Then this is not going to go well. You should probably punch me in the face.
Yeah.
I was like, I like that. The Gordon-Batman relationship is rock solid.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's good to see again.
I like when it's like, you could have pulled that punch. I did.
Yeah.
It's like, jeez.
Batman is a monster. Yeah, for a second, I thought they were, because, like, they're talking about, like, oh, we should, like, try to take off his mask, and I thought they were going to do the thing where, like, they try to lift up the mask and they get shocked, but that didn't really happen.
Well, they kind of did that in The Dark Knight. I guess they didn't want to do that.
Repeat it.
Yeah.
Um,
I did like a little touch where he's wearing contacts while wearing the batsuit. That was interesting.
yeah,
I'm like,
and there are also, like, cameras, too.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
And his narration, he says, like, sometimes, like, he just has trouble, like, remembering everything he did in one night. So he, like, I don't know, they kind of, like, play up, like, Batman's intelligence, but also his, like, craziness at the same time. Because, like, he's writing down, like, everything he's doing in these, like, notebooks and stuff.
I've seen that in comics.
Yeah. I like, too, that, like, Batman in this, he's definitely intelligent, but he's not, you know, kind of like sometimes where Batman's, like, too smart.
He's not the world's greatest detective yet.
Yeah.
He's on his way. He's got a little bit of juice. But I can't believe I saw, and the Penguin saw, or at least suggested, the Bat would be the rat with wings before the Penguin. It's like, he might be talking about you, Batman. Granted, he wasn't ultimately.
Yeah.
But how did he not think of that? I thought of that. I was sitting there, I'm like, he might be talking about you, Batman.
Yeah, me too. And I do like how when they catch the Penguin is great. He is just more or less your stereotypical mobster guy, but...
How, like, that makeup on Colin Farrell, like, holy shit.
Yeah, it's insane, like, what you can accomplish with, like, practical effects. Like, that's not, like, CG, that's not, like, an AI thing. It's, like, somebody made, like, a crazy suit for him to wear.
Yeah, somebody turned that man into the Penguin.
Yeah.
And I never would have thought, because my thought with the Penguin would always be, oi, make him all British and Cockney, oi.
Yeah.
I would never think, hey, what's the matter with you, Mafia, Tony Soprano?
Yeah. Make him Italian. It's just like, so Italian. What's his name? Oswald Cobblepot.
He might be part Irish.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah, definitely.
But like, I never would have thought mafiosa Penguin. That was the furthest thing from my mind.
Yeah.
But I kind of like it. I kind of see why they want to do more with that character and kind of his own little Scarface side story.
Yeah. He's pretty fun. Like, and
he's not in a lot, but he's memorable enough where you're like, oh, I wouldn't mind seeing more of this character.
Yeah, I mean, he's got that scene in the trailer everybody's seen where the Batmobile's chasing him. He's just like, this guy's nuts, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, the scene where he explains to like Gordon and Batman about like Spanish is pretty good.
It's like, you morons don't
Yeah.
know Spanish?
Yeah.
Come on.
Pretty good. And then Batman and Gordon just like leave him like in handcuffs. He's like, you can't leave me here. And it's just
He
like,
might have been zip tied his feet too.
Yeah.
Still, it's like, what the fucking hell? That must have been embarrassing for him.
Yeah. I guess we should talk about Catwoman too.
Definitely. Very good. Zoe Kravitz.
Yeah. I haven't seen her really in anything.
I have only seen her in one thing, and it might be probably the only thing you've seen her in.
Oh, what's that?
X-Men First Class.
She's in X-Men First Class?
She plays the chick with the butterfly wings called Angel.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, she's got like 5 lines and then never talks again.
Wow. Okay. I didn't think she was like a actress for that long, honestly.
No,
But
she's been around.
wow. Okay.
Clearly. Also, fun fact, she voiced Catwoman in the Lego Batman movie.
Wow. Okay.
I know, right? Go figure.
Interesting. But yeah, I think I like everything with Catwoman. It's like closer to the way I would more see her like in modern interpretation.
Very,
the whole being
yeah.
connected to the monsters and
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
like that.
Being Falcone's bastard child, essentially. Yeah. That was all. It's very much a modern version of Catwoman. The only thing she lacks is the proper mask.
Yeah. Yeah, her mask could use work, but I also do like her relationship with Batman. Like, you know, Batman at first is like kind of working with her to find out what happened, what's going on with this like gangster den. I forgot what it's called. I think it's the Iceberg Lounge.
Yeah, it's the Iceberg Lounge, but it's
Yeah.
got like a secret sub-level. I forget what they call it, the 43 below or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is where the real scum hang out.
Right, because Catwoman's friend / possibly lover was like murdered.
I don't know,
or
she called her
something.
just a kid, so I'm like, how young was this girl?
Yeah.
Like, she kind of had like a Holly Robinson vibe to me, where it was just like a young friend of hers.
Yeah, I don't know. She was calling her baby on the phone. So
Yeah, I don't know.
That's kind of like where I was like, were they like together or is it just like a thing? But
No idea.
we don't know, and we don't really need to know because this movie's all about like mysterious characters being mysterious.
Also, she dies, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
She gets strangled, I think.
Yeah, but it's interesting because like Catwoman is kind of like flirty with Batman. They like kiss a few times, but it's like one of those things where like Batman's just like, he's just like, what's going on? Like, I like you, I think, but like at the same time, I'm like,
Feelings! Ah!
yeah. He's like, I don't know exactly what's going on. Like, you just doing this because, or what's going on?
Well, there's always been this element of Batman and Catwoman being their kind of lost souls, and that's kind of what they find something in each other.
Yeah.
There's definitely a bit of that in this.
Yeah. This is a long movie, and
Almost 3 hours.
a lot happens, and, we just watched it.
It's still so fresh in my brain.
It's pretty fresh, but, like, at the same time, still processing it.
I know.
Like, it has a lot of great scenes. I would say, like, the fighting is really, like, good. Like,
Simple and brutal.
yeah, I would say, too, Batman's fighting seems a little more believable in this. Like, he's definitely very skilled, but at the same time, he's not, like, not getting hit. Like, he has body armor, and he's constantly getting shot in this movie.
Yeah. He seems to welcome it sometimes.
Yeah, like, that's some really good body armor.
Well, he's a billionaire, so
Yeah.
best that money can buy.
Yeah, and his fighting definitely is a lot more, like, brutal, like you said. Maybe lacking, like, finesse, like, the way you see him fight in, like, the video games where he's just kind of, like, gliding through, like, enemies and kind of, like, never getting touched. It's, like, kind of different.
No, that's fun in a video game. Less fun,
Yeah.
less interesting in a movie.
Yeah.
Because in a video game, you don't want to get hit. In a movie, you don't care. You don't mind if the main character takes some bruises along the way because it makes him more human and more relatable.
Yeah. I will say there's some like interesting scenes. Like one scene I remember in the movie is there's a scene where it's just like completely pitch black, and then every like couple of seconds the scene's getting lit up by gunfire as like Batman is just like taking out these like thugs, and I thought that was a cool scene.
Yeah, there's a brief moment similar to that in The Dark Knight Rises, but it's kind of quick. This is like prolonged and much
Yeah.
cooler.
It's such a good movie, but it's a really dense movie.
They play up a lot of the corruption of Gotham in this, as they often do.
Yeah.
It's like the mayor, the DA, they're all evidently in the pocket
of the cops too.
Oh, yeah, as usual.
Yeah.
And they're kind of all, at first you think, oh, they're controlling Falcone. No, Falcone's controlling them. Because of course he is.
Yeah.
And I had suspected from the trailer, but that there would be sort of a gray thing when it comes to the Waynes. And one, I was surprised, but not too surprised, that they went the Earth One Martha Arkham as opposed to Martha Kane.
I was surprised about that too.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
I guess we're going that route.
Yeah.
That's very much kind of some of the added backstory from Earth One with the family madness on that side of the family.
I wonder if we'll get Birthday Boy.
You never know.
Oh my god. That's the rated R Batman movie nobody wanted. I mean, it would be like interesting. It'd be like, I can't believe they made this, but
yeah, that was pretty creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. But they do add the bit of gray to Thomas. At first you think, oh no, is Thomas a bad guy? But it seems that Thomas just made one mistake to try to protect Martha from like just being dragged in the media for her history of mental health problems.
Yeah.
And her family history of mental health problems as well. And he just tried to quiet a reporter, asked Falcone for help, and said Falcone was like, sure, I'll make him quiet. Make him dead quiet.
Make him quiet forever.
And Thomas was, oh no, what have I done? I'm going to tell the cops. And then died a day later in an alleyway or something. Because it's never 100% confirmed, but heavily implied. Well, Falcone implies to Bruce that, no, Maroni's probably did it. But then it's later implied, but it can't be proved that Falcone is responsible for the Wayne's murder.
Yeah, it's like, was it Falcone? Was it Maroni? Or was it just some random thug?
Any of these could be true, and we have no way to prove it because everybody involved is dead. Except maybe Maroni, he's probably in jail.
Yeah, we don't know.
I assume he's in jail.
Yeah, I think probably because that was like the big thing they took out.
Yeah, they took down the Maroni
the
family. That was like a big thing. It worked out well for Falcone. One of his big rivals was taken out.
Yeah, I guess it takes us into like Alfred, which is not really in too much of the movie.
Yeah, he kind of disappears from it after a certain point. We never really went back to him after a certain point.
Yeah, there's like a brief line that like Alfred taught Bruce to fight, but we don't know if like that's all who taught Bruce to fight. We really don't know anything about this Batman. It's just like we just know he's Batman. And
sometimes that's enough.
Yeah. I like the moment where, the Riddler tries to take out Bruce Wayne because part of his plan is he's taking out all these people connected to this, I guess, like, fund that Bruce Wayne's father made to try to help the city.
But all the corrupt people took over it once Bruce's dad was dead.
Yeah.
And just siphoned money for themselves.
Yeah. So Alfred almost gets killed in Bruce Wayne's place, and
I guess the Riddler didn't anticipate that Bruce Wayne doesn't open his own mail.
Yeah, but there's a pretty good moment where like Alfred's like in the hospital, and then like Alfred wakes up, and Bruce like found out about the Falcone stuff, and then Alfred kind of tells him like the whole thing, and then Bruce kind of says like, I haven't felt this scared like since my parents died, and I didn't think I could feel this scared again because the one thing I don't want to lose is like people close to me. And you're like, okay, like this Batman is sort of like not as like a psycho as we were thinking he was, because the few interactions he had with Alfred, he kind of seemed like a dick to him at first. Like he's like, you're not my real dad and stuff like that. But you're kind of like, okay, he does care about Alfred, and
As he would.
yeah, he's just being an asshole because he was up all night
And,
beating up criminals.
Bruce Wayne is fundamentally a damaged person.
Yeah. Guess we should talk about Riddler.
Yeah, and how at first it seems that he is very much this criminal mastermind, and to a degree he is.
Yeah.
And it really seemed like for a second there, and I'm not maybe 100% convinced that maybe on some level he doesn't know that Bruce Wayne's Batman,
Yeah.
but you also kind of realize, oh, this guy is just a nut bar. But when he basically unveiled that his plan the entire time was to just use Batman to take down all the corrupt people, it's like, we did this together. And I'm like, oh my God, Riddler's not like a criminal mastermind. He's a copycat.
Yeah.
He sees himself as a copycat vigilante.
Yeah, like that whole scene too, where he's just like talking to Batman and Arkham Asylum and, kind of like revealing his old grand plan. He's just like, but you're here and now we're both safe and we can watch what we did together. And Batman's like, what are you talking about? Because, of course, he's going to blow up the city, or at least
Flood
the
a good chunk.
dams that block the water from getting into the city.
And flood a good chunk of the city, and he's got a whole mess of psycho followers who are gonna just mow down all like the new mayor and all the other people.
Yeah,
that,
they all have to like gather in this like center area if there's like a flood. 'Cause
Yeah.
there's like a flood shelter. But
I did get a kick out of the new mayor being like, no, I can. Gordon's like trying to be like, we gotta get you fucking out of here. It's not safe. He's like, no, the people need to know that we can overcome this. And she goes to the podium and tries to rally the people and just gets shot.
yeah,
For a
definitely.
second, I thought she got shot in the head.
Me too. I was just like, holy crap.
I would have respected the movie if it was, but okay, she got hit in the chest or shoulder or whatever. But just the fact that she just got shot immediately was kind of great. It's like, yeah, you're in danger. Listen to Gordon.
Yeah.
He knows what he's talking about.
I thought this movie was gonna like get like super dark all of a sudden, because when that happened, I was like, oh my God. And then there's a scene with like all the people getting swept up with the floodwater, and then there's the electrical wire about to like fall into the water.
Well, before all that, like Riddler's followers are gonna just start machine gunning these people, but thankfully, fucking Batman bombs into there and just starts fucking them up.
Yeah. I will say too, like, it proves that, like, yeah, Batman's body armor is pretty strong in this movie, but he's not freaking invincible because he gets, like, blasted in the chest with, like, a shotgun,
Yeah.
and it, like, takes him out. That he actually has to inject himself with, like, adrenaline or something.
In order to save Catwoman.
Yeah.
And he almost beats the dude to death.
Yeah, seriously.
The dude that he bludgeons with his fists calls himself Vengeance. Was that... I could be wrong, but I'm like, was that the guy Batman saved earlier in the movie?
I thought that guy was the guy that, like, he was when Bruce Wayne goes to the mayor's memorial service. There's like that guy in the audience that like Bruce Wayne's sitting. Well, he's kind of standing next to, and he's kind of just like talking about the city or something.
Maybe.
I thought it was that guy.
I'd have to see their face again. This is a long movie.
Yeah.
There's a lot of brief characters and long characters.
I'll say too, like I said to you earlier, it's just like it's been a while since we've seen Batman save people, and he actually saves people in this movie.
Ultimately, that's kind of what his arc was, transitioning from this brutal, vengeful vigilante to literally becoming a hero.
Yeah.
In the eyes of the people. Like, we see that transition take place.
Yeah, I mean, in his, like, narration, he pretty much, like, kind of says, like, you know, I was vengeance, but I have to become something more. I have to become, like, hope.
A knight.
Yeah. It's a good arc, and it's a good movie. Like,
absolutely. And, you know, things wind down. It's implied that Penguin's going to seize power in a power vacuum.
Yeah.
Selina leaves town. Bruce doesn't want her to. I mean, Batman doesn't want her to, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, we see Riddler locked up, and, well, I think he made a friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep, he definitely made a friend.
Sequel hook, but...
A bit of a sequel hook.
Yeah.
Not the most egregious sequel hook we've seen in recent years.
That's true.
It doesn't hit you over the head with who that person in the next cell is, but if you can't figure it out,
It's very obvious.
yeah. I mean, granted, he doesn't look like it, but I'm assuming we'll be going the face paint route.
Yeah. I mean, it was dark.
Yeah.
So who knows?
I just say I've long desired to see a Batman series where we don't see the Joker's rise. We see the Joker's revenge. Where Joker's been locked up for a period of time. He's the boogeyman of Gotham, and the idea of him returning just makes people shit themselves.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, Batman 89, Joker's rise. Dark Knight, Joker's rise. Joker's rise.
Right.
I want Joker's revenge.
Suicide Squad. Don't know.
Joker was there, sort of. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Kind of. Occasionally.
It'll be interesting to see where they go. Because, of course, if you're going to do a Batman thing, you eventually are going to have Batman fight the Joker, and everybody wants to do their own version of the Joker. I thought it was interesting, too. I don't think we ever saw this Joker's mouth while he was talking. I think we just saw his eyes and, like, his hair. So it's like...
kind of see it a little bit, but it's obscure.
Yeah, because I was wondering if, like, they're just like, no, don't show his mouth, because we're not sure if we're going to do scars or no scars.
I mean, that'd be the smart thing to do. You don't
Yeah.
want to tip your hand all the way with that.
Yeah, and just, like, Riddler, he's so crazy and, like, so, like, damaged, and it's just, like, really unsettling when... You know, he sees Batman save the people at the end, and he's just, like, freaking out, and you're like, oh, my God.
Yeah, he's not right in the head.
Yeah.
He's very much not right in the head.
Definitely insane and, like, sick and all that, but pretty good. And also does the whole thing of, like, does Batman make his villains type of thing? Because, you know, there's that whole thing. It's just, like, each villain of Batman's is a different part of Batman.
A reflection of different parts of Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Then you have the ones where it's like, so how is Killer Croc a reflection of Batman? Shut up. It's not a hard and fast rule, damn it.
Yeah. But overall, pretty interesting movie. Yeah, it's a fun Batman movie.
I wouldn't say fun, but
Well,
damn good.
Good Batman movie.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Probably great.
Yeah.
I need to watch it again. There's so much to it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely a movie that needs more rewatching, for sure. But
I look forward to hopefully seeing more of the Batman verse with its apparently various spin-offs.
yeah, I'm like, if everything needs to be a universe, why not just do a nothing but Batman universe?
Characters are interesting enough to hold it.
Yeah.
And the Matt Reeves Batman world's not even going to get into characters like Batgirl and whatnot. That'll be in the Michael Keaton Batman sub-universe
I guess.
thing. Whatever's going on there. I don't know. I'm just glad that we got a new Batman. It's no baggage.
Yeah.
It's just Batman.
It's just...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just Batman and...
Seriously. Last thing we should talk about just real quick before we wrap up.
Right.
What'd you think of his Batman voice?
I like it a lot because it was just enough. I would say, like, Christian Bale's Batman voice was insane. I kind of love it, but at the same time, he became hard to understand. But this, I like it. I like that they didn't do that dumb modulator thing they did.
It was a
with
good
Ben
idea.
Affleck.
You know what? That was a good idea, poorly executed, I feel.
Yeah.
It was too robotic, and honestly, I had a harder time understanding Batfleck than I ever did Christian Bale.
Yeah. I like his Batman voice, too. And the fact that, like, this version of Batman, like, barely talks when he's Batman, at least, like, criminals, like, worked pretty well, so...
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like this Batman.
Go see it.
Yep.
Seriously, go see it. It's good.
Very good.
It's the only Batman movie we're getting this year. I'm just kidding about that.
That's right. But that's the Out of Touch podcast for this week. Thanks for listening to our rambles, and till next time.
Batman.